Minister, your government keeps telling Canadians that you are committed to evidence-based decision-making. In fact, your mandate letter even contains that same statement. And yet, without any evidence to support the decision, you told Canadians on May 1st, through an order in council, that you were banning military-style assault rifles under the guise of improving public safety. You and your government actually invented the term military-style assault rifle to deliberately mislead Canadians not familiar with Canada's already vigorous gun laws into believing that we have a problem where none exists. In fact, military and assault rifles are already prohibited in Canada. You know this already, and have been for over 40 years. Everyone knows that taking the lazy approach and attacking legal Canada's law-abiding firearm owners will do nothing to improve public safety. Most Canadians are left to wonder what the real motive was behind the Liberal misguided gun ban plan. So, as I said, on May 1st, you banned 1,500 types and models of firearms. That firearms, up to that point in time, had been approved by the RCMP as safe and legal to own. Since then, nearly 500 more firearms and numerous variants have been added to that ban list, almost 2,000 now. Is that number fairly accurate?
Your mute is on.
Let me just come off of mute there and respond to some of that. And, I think, Glenn, it's important. You and I could debate it, but let's hear what the people who are responsible for keeping our communities said. The Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police said Ontario's police leaders support a prohibition on all military-designed assault rifles. And in our view, these weapons have no place in our communities, and they should be reserved only for use by Canada's military. The Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police declared that there should be a ban on the importation of these weapons, and they said that military assault rifles, their language, were produced for the sole purpose of killing people in large numbers. And the current president of the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police said on their behalf, in response to the prohibition that we introduced May 1st, as a chief of police, the Canadian Chiefs believes that the measure that taken by this government finds balance, and it ensures the safety of our members when they respond to calls for service.
Minister, you and I both know that there is no such thing. Minister, you and I both know there's no such thing as military-style assault weapons in this country. They've been banned for 40 years. So to misguide and mislead Canadians is disingenuous on your part. So you didn't answer my question about how many are actually banned, because either you don't know. So if you don't know the answer to that question, then obviously how are Canadians supposed to know, given the firearms reference table is not even available to them? It's only available to the RCMP or to law enforcement and to retailers. Now I'm going to move on to the next question. In June, in the House, I asked you how many times you had changed the list of banned firearms. You told me none. Clearly, that was untrue. I asked you how many 22 caliber rifles, firearms, you had banned. You didn't answer the question. I then asked you how many shotguns you had banned. You said, and I quote, did not prohibit any shotguns. Again, that was clearly untrue. In fact, the May 1st firearms ban now includes over 80 22 low-caliber rifles and over 60 shotguns. Additionally, you've banned over 300 single-shot rifles used for hunting and target shooting. Minister, you have made numerous statements that you know are factually inaccurate. This entire debate requires truth, honesty, and fact-based, not deliberately misguided statements or misleading statements and fear-mongering. Can you please explain to the Canadian public how 22 caliber rifles, pump action rifles, break open single shot rifles, and shotguns can possibly be categorized as military style, fully automatic rifles? Why mislead the House, the committee, and Canadians, Minister?
Yeah, just to be very clear, Glenn, we're not misleading anyone. We're taking the necessary action to strengthen gun control and to protect Canadians. And although I appreciate your advocacy on behalf of the gun lobby, our advocacy and our work is on behalf of Canadians and keeping them safe. And let me be very clear. On May 1st, we issued by order in council a prohibition, and nothing has been added to that except I would just point out to you that firearms that were prohibited in that list included designs, receivers, or other variants of rifles such as the AR-10 and the AR-15, which made them prohibited. And then it is the responsibility of the RCMP and the Canadian Firearms Program to identify additional weapons that contain those variants and receivers as
Minister,
prohibited.
you can't blame the RCMP for this. Minister, you can't blame the RCMP for this issue.
Glenn, I'm not blaming anyone.
These variants, these are not military-style assault rifles. You and I both know that.
Okay, well,